Hello, good morning everyone. I hope you all are having a wonderful day today and every day and always. My name is Brenda and I am a mystic, yogi, and a witch. So today I am going to be talking about how to activate your witch power. So, what exactly is your witch power or your witch flame? Activating your witch flame basically means activating your power throughout your body. And this can be called many different things. Scientists call it having healthy cerebral spinal fluid. The Hindus call it Shanti or Shakti. The mystics call it vital life force, and the New Age movement calls it activating your auric body or your spiritual body. So how exactly do we activate our spiritual body? You try to be as healthy as possible. Remember, health is wealth. And the healthier your physical vessel is, the easier it is to tap into the spiritual body or the etheric body and activate your witch flame. So this means reducing your drug intake or not doing drugs at all. And the funny thing about this is alcohol is still a drug, coffee is still a drug, cigarettes are still a drug, junk food is even considered drugs because it's full of God knows what kind of chemicals. So, to not be able to do drugs means practicing non-attachments. It's okay to drink sometimes, it's okay to smoke weed sometimes, it's okay to drink a little bit of caffeine sometimes, but what really matters here is non-attachments. So, not waking up in the morning and needing coffee, or, you're gonna have to sleep all day. Not being able to go to sleep without alcohol, that's attachment. Having to smoke a cigarette every hour. It's not going to help your spiritual body at all. So use practice discipline within your mind and have non-attachment to drugs in general. Especially hard drugs. Because if you keep up a spiritual practice and you are doing hard drugs, then you aren't going to be able to receive spirit correctly. And this can make people delulu. Like if you're tripping out on hard drugs while you're meditating, spirit's not always going to come to you correctly or within the confines of reality. So if you're keeping up a discipline or a practice, definitely make sure you are not attached to hard drugs. So that's one step in activating your witch power. Not having attachment to anything that alters your brain chemistry so that you can receive spirit correctly. Another way of activating your witch power is having a healthy diet. So different diets work for different people depending on preference and genetics and all of these different things, taste buds, belief systems. We all have different diets. But what truly matters is cooking your own meals. If you do not know how to cook your own meals and you're eating out all the time, you're just taking in processed garbage that mostly either came out of a freezer or is full of unhealthy oils and sugars. The best way to cook your own meals is to learn how to cook from scratch. That is the healthiest way to live, is cooking your food from scratch. So a lot of us, we work very hard and we work long hours to survive and we don't always have time to cook. So a good thing to do is to make a big pot of food and just eat it for a few days, and just every few days make a new pot of food and eat on that throughout the week. Because you want to eat as less processed foods as possible. The more healthy and the more nutrient intake you get, the easier it is to activate your chakra channels or your witch power and be able to have psychic impressions correctly or work with spirit correctly. So that concludes the first part of my video. You want to clear your channels as much as possible in order to be able to activate your witch power. So you want to be healthy, as healthy as possible. So the second part, we are actually going to get into the metaphysical and witchy aspects of this. Surrendering yourself onto spirits and or guru. So in pre-Christian times, in order to be a practitioner, you had to become disciplined by surrendering yourself onto a certain entity. So in ancient Greece, or Rome, or the Mediterranean region, they would surrender themselves onto Athena or Hecate or whatever that is. And these spirits would have different guidelines in order to activate your witch power and live the life that you are supposed to. Or in Hinduism, most Hindus either surrender themselves onto either Shiva or Krishna and follow whatever guidelines that either of them have, which are a little similar but a little different. Or even in Christianity, in order to worship God or Yahweh in that current, you have to get through Jesus. So Jesus is basically a guru for the Christians. So is Muhammad for Muslims, or Moses for Jewish people, or a lot of Buddhist currents, not all, but a lot of them. You have to get through the Dalai Lama's teachings in order to get to Buddhahood. So essentially, you need to surrender yourself onto spirit, whatever belief system that you align to, in order to reach your highest potential and activate your witch flame or your Shanti Shakti in the best way possible. And surrendering onto spirit also means being disciplined, keeping up a practice. So personally, as a witch, I like to have altars because I like to personally visualize what I am worshiping. It makes it easier and it's more inspiring for me when I can create a little center to be able to worship at. So it's personally more inspiring for me to have an altar. I mean, to be honest, I think most witches should have altars, or most practitioners should have altars, but I guess some people don't want altars. I mean, it's really up to the practitioner what they want to do. So if you have an altar, you should give offerings every day when you're motivated, at least every couple of days. Definitely want to make offerings on certain events like the full moons and the new moons. For example, if you're Christian or Muslim, you should pray. I mean, I know Muslims pray a couple times a day. I know a lot of Christians say they pray, but they just don't, I guess. I don't know. As a practitioner, you always want to keep up a practice and keep your mind on spirits and whatever that spirit is that you worship. Cleansing is a big one of keeping up practice. So when you feel your spirit starting to either get unmotivated, or you feel yourself, going through rough periods of time where you're getting grumpy and everything's making you pissed off, make sure you cleanse regularly. Some people like to use tools, some people like to ask spirit to cleanse the room for them. Some people like to do huge rituals to cleanse rooms. So if you don't want to do a ritual, or you don't know how to perform ritual, a good way to cleanse is circumambulating either your house or your room multiple times, however times you feel is needed, either clockwise or counterclockwise, depending on your tradition, with some incense, sage, palo santo, any type of cleansing herb. Cleansing herb. So the cool thing about sage is that you can feel your spirit get lighter, because sage is actually an antibacterial. Or again, if you don't know how to do ritual, or you want to incorporate this into ritual, splashing all the corners of either your room or your house 30 times in a circle, that helps cleanse. Or even literally just asking spirit to cleanse your house, it's perfectly fine. So that concludes my video on how to activate your witch power. So to activate your witch power, you want to keep a healthy vessel, surrender unto spirit, and keep up a discipline. I hope you all are having a wonderful day today and always, and so it is done.